Today we're talking about email marketing, a crucial part of the online business puzzle. And here's the good news, it's not as difficult as you think. Hi there, my name is Paul Bars from paulbars.com. Thank you for taking the time to stop by and watch this video. So the topic of the day, email marketing, and how we can use email not just to increase our marketing but to capture more attention, to maybe bring in more repeat business, new business, manage those sales and even reduce refunds, problems, all of these types of things as well. So grab your pen and paper, let's take some notes. There are a couple of rules that I want to give to you first. Rule number one, I guess that makes sense. Rule number one, you must have an email list. You must have a database of names and email addresses as a minimum that you have access to send out information. Now, of course, the whole thing about this list is they have given you permission to send out. And let me clarify that. I'm not talking implied permission, which is within the rules, the guidelines of Australian business. Someone might come up to me, I'll just grab this from over here. Hey, yeah, business card. Here we go, there's your business card. Thank you very much. I didn't give you permission to put me on your list. That's not what I'm talking about. Just because my email address is on there doesn't mean you have got permission to start sending me stuff as a part of your newsletter. Just because we're connected on LinkedIn doesn't mean that I have given you permission to start sending me stuff through your newsletter or your autoresponder or whatever. Yes, you must have an email database. Permission-based, people who have said, yeah, absolutely, please send me some more info. That's what I'm talking about, even though those other things are actually within the guidelines and allowances under Australian law. However, moving on, number two, you've got your lists, great, but you must have multiple lists, segmented lists. So let's look at that for example. You may have your prospective customers, people who haven't yet purchased from you, but you know they're interested and they said, yes, send us some info. You may have your actual customers. They have purchased from you, so they can go, of course, into your customer list. That is maybe the only exception to the rule. You need to follow up with your customers, and that's one of the easiest ways to do it. You could have other types of segmented lists from maybe this business sector or that business sector within your overall marketplace. Segmenting your lists and having multiple databases enables you to target people specifically for their individual needs. You see, when people come to sign up for my newsletter, my e-zine at paulbars.com, I ask them, what region in the world do you live in? Australia, New Zealand, Asia, Europe, South, North America, Antarctica? I want to know roughly what area they live in, because I know that with the workshops and the seminars that I'm doing around Australia, probably not too much interest to someone out in, sort of the middle of the Ukraine. Would you agree? Having a segmented list is a very powerful way to implement your marketing. So you can even have one list and then segments within that list, but you must do it some way. Rule number three, remember there are just three major rules. Number three is you must keep in regular contact with the people on your email list. Oh, I can hear a few of you grumbling already. This is the biggest sort of problem that I come across with small business owners. How often is too often? How little is too little? How little is not enough? Regular, and it does depend on your industry and your sector, but I'll tell you now, once a month at absolute minimum is too little. 2 weeks, 3 weeks perhaps, much better in my opinion, but weekly maybe only for some industries. 2 weekly, ideal. Why? Because if you don't keep in regular contact with your people, they're going to forget who you are. How many people, and I'm putting my hand up here, just show of hands, how many people have received something in their email box and they're going, who the hell is this? I don't know who you are. What are you? Unsubscribe. The simple fact that you can unsubscribe says, I guess, either one of two things. You did subscribe at some point, or they've gone and used implied permission or purchased a list. And look, that does still happen, but we're not talking about that. You don't want your prospective customers to forget who you are. Your customers, not likely to. They've paid you money. They want to remember you in case they need to find you. But prospective customers, they are the majority, the greater end of this list. You never want them to forget who you are. Never, ever, ever. 2 weekly minimum. My suggestion may be 3 weekly, depending on the industry. But here's the thing. If you are mailing out content that is relevant and interesting to your marketplace, you could literally send it every day and they'd be happy for it. That's the truth. If it was relevant and interesting and wasn't going to take them 3 hours to read. So keep them short. I try and keep these videos, down to sort of around 8, maybe 10 minutes. It's difficult sometimes because I like to deliver content as well, but they can bookmark it, come back. Few do, unfortunately. Got to watch it now. So let's move on. What kinds of lists then should we have? A newsletter. Oh yeah, absolutely. You've got to have an online email newsletter. They're your prospects. They're the people that you're trying to bring into the sales funnel. That's one. Number 2, your customer list. People who have actually purchased from you. So important. And send them something different to what they received that first time. Maybe you could have a separate list for prospects. Number 3, people, a higher quality in my business. People that I've sent a quote to. Hi Paul, can you give me a quote for, your website security? Can you give me a quote to manage my email marketing? Yes, absolutely, we can do that for you. And I'm going to pop you in to a list which will automatically follow you up with an autoresponder, 3 or 4 messages over the next, say, month, just telling you more about the benefits of understanding the product, the service, and working with us. Yes, absolutely. How do I get their permission? I ask them. Okay, here's the quote. Do you mind if I follow up with that? No one has ever said no. So I will absolutely follow up because the sale, the money is in the follow-up, usually around that 4th, 5th, 6th time. That's when you start to get a bit more engagement. So maybe you could do something like that. What about lead generation lists, free ebooks, special reports, download this PDF, something like that, and you subscribe a special lead generation, something like that. Or there's also what you might call second level lists from remarketing. They've already responded to this offer, but you want to qualify them more and move them to a second level list. Wow, talk about qualified, and they've jumped through 1, 2 hoops to get to that one. That's a qualified buyer just waiting for the right time to be tipped over the edge into the sale. You can use email marketing for that, and you can automate a lot of what goes out to these people, and that's so important from a time-saving perspective. You set up the system, and that's what we do for a lot of our clients. We set up the system and then let them manage it from there. So last thing that I want to talk to you about very quickly is give them what they're expecting. Don't just bombard them with sales messages. Oh God, no, that's a horrible thing to do. Give them what they're expecting. So, what are they expecting? Whatever the hell you promised them in the first place, give them that. And then, listen carefully, and then occasional direct response mail offers. Occasional direct response mail offers. Hi, here's the offer, buy now. That's what I'm talking about. Not every day, not every week, not every mailing. Intermix them in, okay? You want to burn a list quickly, you've got to do 2 things. Number 1 is send them stuff all the time, asking them to buy. Number 2, believe it or not, send them nothing. Hey, here's my message out of the blue, 3 months. Who are you? Delete. No. These are very important things, and email marketing should be a vital, integral part of your overall marketing strategy. I hope you found this useful, taken a few notes. If not, hit rewind, watch it again, it's not too long. I know you can benefit by implementing these things into your business. My name is Paul Bars from paulbars.com. Stop by, take a look at the blog. We've got some great training resources in there. I'd love to have you come and join me as a part of my tribe and share the content with your friends and other business associates. And I'd love your feedback too. Thank you again. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.